Hi, I'm Paula Haddock with Colorado's Best on Fox 31 and Channel 2. Welcome to Villa Parker. I'm excited to share a financial strategy that I really love. It's called Become the Banker. My husband and I have been using the Become the Banker strategy for more than 10 years now. It is the best financial decision we've ever made. And the beauty of it is it's our money. We get to use it however we'd like. My husband's an entrepreneur, so we used it to infuse his company with a little bit of cash flow. We've used it to travel because we really love to travel around the world. We've also been able to use it to buy investment property. We had a small condo, a 1-bedroom up in the mountains, and we were able to upgrade and get a 2-bedroom. It's just incredible that, everybody gets to use their money exactly how they want to. And it's so simple. It's a beautiful strategy that's constantly making you money. You can't lose it. And I want to introduce you to Joseph Quijano and his son, Jordan Quijano, to teach you all about it.
Thank you, Paula. That was a wonderful introduction. And ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome you to our Become the Banker webinar. My name is Joseph Quijano, certified financial planner.
And I'm Jordan Quijano, also a financial planner, and we've been in business for over 50 years. Mostly my father, of course, but I've been in here for 11 years, and we are a family-owned financial planning firm helping you get ahead financially, not only in today's economy, but for any economy, so you don't lose any money, what happens with the stock market or any greedy bankers.
Are you happy with the way that the economy is doing right now? How much money can you afford to lose? Now, if your answer is negative on those two questions,
or no,
then you're at the right place and at the right time, because we're going to show you how to protect your money so you don't lose it while you're making money.
And as I mentioned earlier, we've been in business for about 50 years now, just a little bit over that actually, and we are educated, ethical, and experienced. Not only are we a financial firm here in Colorado, but we are actually one of the oldest schools that license financial advisors, CPAs, tax attorneys, any of that. We show them how to maintain their license, and every 2 years, you have to come back to a school like ours to be able to keep your license. So tonight you're coming to the instructors. We want to share education with you on how you can get ahead with your family and just get your foot in the right direction.
So let's talk about the first thief. Don't you agree?
That's right. So let's talk about the banks, the greedy banks. The average American family or individual is losing close to 34.5% of every dollar you make goes to this thief. That is on one credit card, one mortgage, and one automobile loan. So if you have 2 credit cards, maybe 2 cars that are financed, or maybe even 2 mortgages, that percentage is just going to keep on growing. So let's dive deep into that. How can you save more of your money and protect it from the banks so that you're not losing a third of every dollar you make to this thief? Well, look at the example on the screen here. We have a family who has a car financed at 8.5%. Now, most of you might say, gosh, that's a very high percent. But really, there are some people out there that might have higher interest rates like this because their credit isn't that great. Again, we're talking about the average American family in the US here. So 8.5%, this vehicle is financed at $30,000, and their monthly payment comes out to $594 a month. Now, most people would stop right there and think that the interest is just 8.5%. But where you have to take it a step further, and the equation we want to share with you so you can see the true debt that you're paying on every single financed item, is what follows here. I want you to take the interest cost per month. So if you see here, there's $175 that goes out of that $594 right into the bank's pocket. That is the interest that they're shaving right off the top. So take the $175, or in other words, the interest cost per month, and divide it by the full monthly payment, the $594. You take that $175 divided by $594, you're gonna get close to 29.46%, which is basically 30%. So this family was losing a 30%, not 8.5. This is why we say banks are greedy, because I don't know what the math is there, but that is compound interest at its finest, and you're losing more than you thought. So take that equation and please write that down for your debts.
That's amazing. Totally amazing. And the second thief are taxes. You know, I love this country, Jordan, but you know what? We're paying too much money in taxes. The average American family loses 36% of every single dollar we make to taxes. And I'm talking about not just income tax, I'm talking about all the taxes that we have to pay. And are you aware, totally aware, of how taxation is actually destroying your investments and retirement income?
Well, and give them an example what all those taxes are, because I think it's important.
Absolutely. So, you know, like there's sales taxes, there's income tax. I mean, every time I go out to eat, I pay tax. Every time I fill up my car with gasoline, I pay tax.
That's right.
So what we want you to do, we want to have you chop down taxation. We want you to reduce taxation. You cannot eliminate it, you can reduce it. And let me share with you something right now. I want you to be totally aware of what happens to your investments and your income if you don't look at taxes.
Right.
You know, the best rate of return that you could get, in my opinion, is 100%. Don't you agree?
That'd be phenomenal.
I mean, I think if you get 100%, you'll be happy. I'm going to show you how taxes will destroy even the best rate of return, 100%. If you take $1, for example, and you actually compound this dollar over 20 years, like 1 becomes 2, 2 becomes 4, 4 becomes 8, 8 becomes 16, and so on. At the end of 20 years, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to have over $1 million.
Wow.
Would you be happy? Of course you would. But look, that is with no tax. When Uncle Sam begins to tax this wonderful growth, this wonderful rate of return, I'm going to use a low tax bracket. I'm going to use a 17% tax bracket, 17. And look what happens to the $1 million. It shrinks to less than $178,000. So you went from $1 million to less than $178,000. And if you're blessed and you're making more money today and you have a higher tax bracket, not the highest, but high, let's say 27%. Look what happens to your $1 million. It's reduced to less than $58,000. So who's making the money here?
Well, and this is, I think, where you should ask the question. What is more important on an investment? Now that you can see all these diagrams and these numbers, is it really the rate of return? This is at 100% rate of return. Or is it how that investment's going to be taxed? That's really more important. And I think it's pretty clear that we'd much rather be on the tax-free side, the left side here, than to be in any of those taxable columns, because people are losing all of their money in this. And this is why we have the worst savings rate in the world.
Yeah, I like to retire on the left side with no taxes.
So we talked about banks being one of the biggest thieves. We just talked about the government, which we all love this country, but again, high taxation. So what does that leave us with? If we're losing 34.5% to the banks and we're losing 36% to the government, what are we left with to get ahead? And unfortunately, that's less than a third of every dollar we make is all we're living on. This is what we're supposed to pay our groceries, our rent, and also save for retirement off that portion of money. And unfortunately, if you invest this money in the stock market and it goes down, then really how much do you have left? So let's bring in the third thief here, which we talk about is Wall Street. And we want to show you how you can beat Wall Street so that you can grow your money guaranteed. So follow along with the diagram here. This is truly what the S&P 500, the index, has done over the last 20 years, from 1998 to 2019. It's 21 years. And looking at this is assuming you started with $100,000 back in 1998 and just let it sit for those 21 years. What is the number one statement you always hear when you talk to a broker or any financial advisor? Let it ride. Oh, the market's down? Just buy and hold, stay there. Well, this is truly what's happening. You look at that 100,000, I'm not going to bore you line by line here, but look from 1998 to 2000, your money grew to $150,000. Were you happy? Of course, you were jumping up for joy. You just made $51,000. But then what happened? the dot-com era crash. Your money went down all the way back under $90,000. So you lost not only the $51,000 you made, but you also lost some of that initial investment of the $100,000. So you buy and hold, you stay, right? It keeps on growing and it starts to get back to even all the way in 2006. So after 4 years, you're back to the $150,000. You didn't make any money, you're just back to where you started. And then again, we had the mortgage collapse. We know the market's gonna go up and down, up and down. This is why you need to protect your money and not just bank off the stock market.
You know, Jordan, it reminds me of something right now. That is, people get intoxicated when the stock market gains, but they have a heck of a hangover when the market drops.
I know it.
This is a heck of a roller coaster that most people don't want to, do not want to, they do not want to, and I want to repeat it, be on.
That's right. You don't want to be riding that up and down for the rest of your life. Think about it real quickly. What if you were retiring when one of those dips happened? For anybody that was retiring around 2006, 2007, that forced people back into work. Not because they wanted to work, because they had to get back into work because they just lost 30 or 40% of their retirement account. So look at this pyramid here. And I'd love for you to go over this because this reminds me of, where you're born.
That's right. You know, I was, like some of you know, I was born in Mexico City, and Mexico City is actually known for two things, really. One of them is earthquakes, right?
That's right.
And the second thing that they're known for is pyramids. Every time that an earthquake happens in Mexico City, the modern buildings come tumbling down. Yet, the century-old pyramids are still standing without a crack. Why? Their foundation.
Right.
Their foundation is wide and strong. And so it is with financial planning. So the best defense against those thieves are actually having a financial planning pyramid with a super strong foundation that should be made up of tax-free products and totally risk-free, meaning that you will not lose any money no matter what, and they will be totally tax-free. The second and third level of the pyramid, then you can play around a little bit. You can have, tax managed investments like real estate,
right?
And then you can have that taxable investments at the very top, which is the stock market,
401ks,
and IRAs and things like that. Now, this is the amazing, ideal financial pyramid that we would like to have our clients have. However, though, when we meet with people for the first time, and I ask them to show me their pyramids, they're inverted.
Right.
Most of their money is on the top, taxable, and very little is at the bottom on the foundation. So when the pandemic happens like this, like we've been experiencing it, they lose money.
Yeah, and they come tumbling down because
That's right.
It's the financial earthquakes we're facing. And that's why with modern day financial earthquakes can bring anybody's financial pyramid tumbling down if it's not built correctly. So talking about how we can get you ahead with Become the Banker, how you can build that foundation so that you can survive these three financial thieves, we have two strategies, two solutions that can get you and your family ahead in any economy. Number one is called the Guaranteed Retirement Pension Account, or in other words, it's the Guaranteed Pension Account. This is really what's meant for those 401ks and IRAs to protect your money. Number two is called the Become the Banker program. So let's dive a little bit deeper into the first one.
The Guaranteed Pension Account, Jordan, it's really an account that will help you rescue your 401ks that you may have today, your IRAs, or any other retirement plan. It is guaranteed not to lose any money. How good is that?
That's great.
And it's tax deferred, meaning that you're not going to be paying taxes today. It will capture portions of the market when it grows up, but you will never lose any money when the market crashes. You can transfer your money from a 401k or IRA or brokerage account, and you will get a transfer bonus or a premium bonus. And the best thing I like about this product is that you will receive paychecks for life. That means that you will get an income no matter how old you live. You'll get the income until the day you pass away. And also, if you ever needed long-term care, like assisted living, nursing home health care, hospice, this plan will help you pay for it. So we want you to beat Wall Street. We want you to get rid of the thief. Now, this is how you do it. If you look at the red line, it's what the S&P 500 did from 1998 to 2019. The pension account that we're talking about is what's on the purple. You will see that when the market goes up, you're going to get a portion of those gains. Not all of it. But when the market goes down, guess what happens? You stay level. Again, when the market goes up, you gain. Market goes down, you stay level. So at the end of the story, I guess you could call it, you're going to be making more money than you would have if you remained in the stock market.
Absolutely. So let's talk about the second solution. Maybe you don't have money that's built up in a 401k or IRA, and you're looking more for the tax-free area. This is where the Become the Banker strategy really comes in play. You're able to build tax-free money, get a guaranteed rate of return that is also tax-free, and on top of that, you get to use the money today, self-finance your purchases, get out of debt in 9 years or less, including your mortgage, and you have liquidity and control of that money right now. So let's look at this vehicle. Let's just use this car as an example, that if you were gonna finance a new vehicle, you've got two options. One is you go to the local bank, maybe Wells Fargo or Chase, and go through them. Or now that you've heard of the Become the Banker strategy, I want you to look at your tax-free savings bank. The terms are 7 years or 84 payments, which is 8.5%, and that monthly payment comes out to $778 per month, almost the cost of a mortgage. Well, let's kind of go through a few of these slides, get the bottom line that if you finance this with the bank, that $778 would go right to them and you'd never see it again. Whereas financing it with your Become the Banker program, that $778 comes right back into your pocket. Bottom line, after 7 years, you've got a car under both methods, but now that vehicle is worth only $10,500. It's a depreciating asset, we know that, but you paid $65,422 for that. Well, that's the principal plus the interest. If you finance this with your Become the Banker account, not only do you get the car, the $10,500, but you also get to recapture the principal and the interest that you would have lost to the bank or Wells Fargo or Chase. So which would you rather have, just the car or of course the car and the money? And I think most of you would agree, the car and the money.
That is a good comment, the car or the money. So how do you become your own banker? Well, first of all, you use a product that has been approved by the IRS under Section 7702. It will help you minimize taxes and you can reduce finance charges. You will get a 4% guaranteed tax-free rate of return, liquid. You can take your money out with no penalties and it's totally safe. When you borrow money from that product, you determine the repayment schedule that you want to have.
Right.
And of course, for the requirement, there's no credit check, no fees. You can set up your own terms and you get the money tax-free.
Beautiful.
You are the banker.
What is this pool of money that runs under 7702? This is a very unique life insurance policy that the wealthy have used for many, many years, not for the death benefit, but really for the living benefit. And there's only about 5, maybe 6 life insurance companies that offer this type of policy. So it's very, very specialized to offer living benefits. It's not like your grandparents or your employer's life insurance. This is truly a brand new concept that allows you to build money tax-free, use it today, and of course when you retire or if you pass away, the money will be there for you as well as your family.
So let's talk about the simple planning. How does it work? You know, if you go ahead and build your life insurance policy, look at the left circle, and let's say that you come up with money and you want to dump it into the policy in a single payment, or you can do monthly or yearly contributions, and your account grows to $20,000. And you want to finance a purchase for $10,000 or pay off a visa for $10,000. So you want to use your Become the Banker account. Where do you think that the $10,000 to either buy that purchase or pay off the Visa is going to come from. Yeah. Most people think that it's coming from their $20,000 Become the Banker account. Right. That is not the case, ladies and gentlemen. The case is that that $10,000 will come from the life insurance company. The life insurance company will give you a policy loan against your $20,000. So the money is coming from the life insurance company's investment account, not your account. So you still have $20,000 in your life insurance account growing at the rate of 4% plus dividends, and that interest rate is compounding each and every year. The company will charge you an interest rate, and that interest rate is only 4.76% or simple interest. Now, this is not like a mortgage or a credit card. This is simple interest. So that means that if you were to borrow $1,000 from the company at 5% simple interest, you would pay that company only $50 for a year. And then when the balance goes down to $800, you pay them 5% on $800, which is only $40 for the entire year. What if you had a Visa that you just paid off and you were paying them 15%? So if I was you, I would actually pay the company the 5% basically, and then the other 10% will go to my account.
Or in other words, just charge yourself that same interest rate that Visa was charging you so you can make that extra money and the banks can't make it off of you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is not rocket science. And I love this cartoon right here. You can see three little birds, and one of them is actually falling down, and the other two are laughing, saying, "You're overthinking it, Phil. Hey, this is life insurance. This is a guaranteed pension account. There's no risk. It's really a no-brainer."
So if you like what you heard, take the next step. Go ahead and fill out the form on the page here. It'll give us the ability to give you a phone call or reach out to you, and we'll set up a one-on-one either through phone, over the computer, or in person if you're here local in Colorado. And that way we can sit down and show you and your family how to get out of debt in 9 years or less, grow your money in the pension account so you have a guaranteed income for the rest of your life. And this is all at no cost, no obligation, just to see if this works for you. So thank you very much for staying with us on this video. We look forward to meeting you soon.
That was an incredible webinar, such great information. Thank you so much for sharing it with us. We're back here with consumer advocate Tom Martino and Jordan and Joseph, kind of getting cozy in front of the fireplace for some questions that a lot of people have, Tom.
Exactly, like one of those questions. It's life insurance, Joe. So do I have to qualify? Not everyone will be young enough to get maybe a life insurance policy.
That is right, Tom. You know, as life insurance, you do have to qualify. Tom, you know, a lot of people may not be able to qualify, but they will not be disqualified for becoming their own bankers because they can place the insurance on somebody who's healthy, somebody who they have insurability with, like a spouse, a business partner, a child, or a grandchild. So it doesn't matter whether you qualify or not, you can still become your own banker and take advantage of this wonderful, wonderful financial opportunity.
So many of us have 401k accounts, right? How is this different?
It's night and day difference. It really is, because you're able to grow the account without having to lose any money or lose any sleep when the market comes down. We've all experienced the pandemic when there was a crash in 2020, and then we also experienced the 2007, 2008 crash when the mortgage collapse happened. You didn't lose a dime with these accounts, and that's the beauty of this program. You have nothing to lose, no risk, no fear, and you're able to grow the account for the rest of your life.
Okay, so you have this account, you have money, but how do you access that money? How quickly? Can I write a check?
Oh, Tom, that is the most beautiful part about this wonderful strategy. It is totally liquid. Unfortunately, there's no check. All you got to do is ask, a form will be sent to you, you sign it, we'll send it to the home office, and you have your money within 3 days. As a matter of fact, we had a lady this week that wanted to get a policy loan from her policy because she had to go to a medical procedure. And she said, I hope I can get it soon. I said, normally it takes about 10 days. But guess what? She had it in 3 days. She texted me today saying, thank God. Thank you, Joe. This is an amazing thing.
And it has nothing to do with the stock market, right?
You're absolutely right. Nothing to lose, no risk, just growing your account and making sure it's there for you when you need it, just like that lady needed it for her medical.
And that's a guaranteed return.
It's a guaranteed return, no risk. You have that money always growing at an up and up rate, almost steady Eddie as we like to call it, but that's growing, and no matter even if the market were to crash down for the next 10 years, your account is still growing and it's gonna be there for you when you wanna retire.
What I like is your strategy for getting it out tax-free.
That is right. It is a simple plan with a very simple formula that offers a tax-free, get this, tax-free, guaranteed rate of return, totally liquid, and nothing to do with the stock market, just like Jordan said. How good is that?
It really is beautiful, you guys. This is why I've been doing this more than 10 years. Again, my husband and I were able to travel the world. You like to tease me about my Turkish rug that I brought home that I love. We were able to get some rental property and also infuse my husband's company with some cash flow. It's great. You're going to love it.
I'm consumer advocate Tom Martino. Thanks for watching the webinar. Now take action. Click the link below to fill out a form. If you do, Joe and Jordan will give you a free analysis of your debt status and how you can get out of debt in 9 years. Absolutely free, no obligation.